So the reason I have the guest that I have in the neighborhood right now is this guy was there essentially tangentially from the very beginning. I'll explain the backstory. I do want to ask him to unmute because he's even gonna play a little music later. But here we go.
Oh, can
So
you hear me?
I can hear you. So let me give you a great intro here. So um, when we started doing Dave's Gone By on WGBB at 11 o'clock at night on Sunday nights, I was following a 1 hour show called Entertainment Long Island, which was hosted by a guy named Don Lewis. And it was kind of this omnibus mix of just him kind of cracking jokes and talking about life in general and playing music. And the music also that he played, he had a live kind of country folk band in the studio with him. So anytime he ran out of material, he'd say, "Oh, go play something, boys," and they would. And so the fun part was, and Joyce always loves telling the story, is that there they were. There's like 8 people in the studio before me with all these musical instruments. They've got 3 minutes to make this transition from one show to another, and I'm running in there, and I'm like, I gotta get, I'm panicking because the show means everything to me, and I've got my notes, and I got my beverage, and I've got this, and then suddenly there's like men clearing out, and I'll start talking at the mic, and somebody will be knocking, and it's like, I need my ocarina, and they have to crawl in, and I'm trying not to get distracted by them because I'm so focused back then. Now anything goes, but you know, the person who was leading that band back in the day for Don Lewis's show, although they did make a couple of cameo appearances on Dave's Gone By, is with us today. His name is Eddie Hug. Gonna give you a great big hug here. The head of what was then called Eddie and the Moonshiners. He is alive and well and obviously still making music and doing some other things. So first of all, welcome to the neighborhood. Eddie Hug, how are you?
All right. How are you doing, Dave? I can't believe it's been 20 years.
Can you? Can you now, man? When did you get involved with WGBB? Or you knew Don Lewis? That was the deal?
Yes. So he was the dad of one of my friends, Doug, and he passed away a few years ago. But I knew him for quite a while, um, since the days when I used to sell art material in Orangefront in Hempstead. He was a good sign painter. He used to come in for his supplies over there. And I knew he did a little bit of music, but I didn't really know really what he did. But I think we bumped into each other in like 2001, 2002, maybe at the gas station or something. And he said, "I'm doing this radio show on WGBB. Would you like to play some music with us?" Actually, before that, no, yeah, that's right. He said, "Would you like to play some music with us?" And at that time, we were Eddie Hug and the Moonshiners. We played bluegrass. So I said, yeah. And then I went to his house a couple of times, and he played his baritone ukulele, and I would play mandolin along with him. And he did this old, like 30s and 40s jazz music, which I really liked. But we went in as Eddie Hug and the Moonshiners with bluegrass.
Right.
And it's pretty funny because our bass player had an upright bass, which was like, 7 feet tall. So like I said, 8 people going in and out of the studio. We had 3 minutes to set up between people at the studio. And, here's this guy with this giant bass. You could hardly fit it through the door. It was a little bit hectic sometimes.
That's right. I didn't even think of that. You guys, it's not just that you had a transition from Don's show and everybody clear out to get to mine. You had to set up after
Right.
the previous show before Don, which
Yeah.
got the equipment, Joyce Keller and her psychic predictions or something. I don't even know what it
We,
was back then.
we had like 2 minutes and it was crazy because we're all rushing in there
Yeah.
just to get the instruments in and then try to find our seat and be quiet while Don starts talking.
Well,
So
yeah.
anyway, so some of the guys couldn't do it. It was me, it was Rob Olmsted on banjo, and Mike Lakaitis on bass. And the other guys got busy, and we had some guests sometime. We had Lorraine Della Rocca with us for a while, female singer. And then so everybody couldn't do it after a while, but I stuck around. I had time to do it with Don on Sundays. And I stuck around because I liked all that jazz stuff that he did.
Right.
And he taught me a lot of jazz songs, which I still play to this day.
So when was the last time you were in touch with Don? I mean, I got along with him. I know you were
I
you were
spoke
up
to him
there
a
a
little
little
while
while.
right before he passed away. He
Yeah.
had a heart attack, and then he had problems. He had health problems, and he got old. He got, he got sick. So
He was a big
but,
guy too. He was as I recall, he was
yeah.
tall.
So I'm going to do a little bit of a tribute for him. But you asked me if there was any funny stories that I had from WGBB.
Yeah.
So I thought of one that stuck out. So Don used to have really cool guests come in. He had some movie actors come in. We had Steve Guttenberg one time. We had Vince Giordano, which was a composer for like movies and actors and musicians, and we heard all these old time stories, like when gas used to be 10 cents a gallon, stuff like that. And Don really had his stuff together. Everything was always planned right to the minute, and we would rehearse too before we would go into his show so that everything would go without a hitch.
Yeah.
A lot of these times, he would just throw the music in front of us, and we would just start, and he would play his baritone ukulele. I have one right here. I got one just like Don had. So this is a baritone ukulele. So, and he would just start
Looks like a
playing.
guitar to me. I mean, that to me, that's a guitar.
Well, if you see the
Yeah.
size of it, you see it's not really a full size guitar, and it's not a regular ukulele. It's a baritone ukulele. It's small.
Oh, all right.
But he would throw the music in front of us, and his music sheets look like this. I'll show you. I got one. It was just words with chords.
Oh yeah. Oh, I do
And
that. Shit, when I was in a band, I would do words with chords for sure.
right. And, and we would just follow along with him. So one day we had this woman on, her name was Renata Wallace, and she was a belly dancer teacher. She was like a master belly dancer. And Don said, why don't we surprise Renata with some Greek music or some belly dancing music or something like that, right? And he said we should do Misralou, and it might sound familiar if I play it. It's like this. All right, so it's like an old song, and it
Made popular again by Pulp Fiction, I think, because they
it's
did.
right, and
Right.
yeah, it was redone for Pulp Fiction in a more like surfer style. So, but said, why don't we surprise her and we'll do something like Opa, and we'll like they do at Greek weddings, and they smash the glasses and plates on the ground. So I got some old plates from like the dollar store, and like some cups and porcelain, and I put it in a black plastic bag, and we brought that in that night when Renata Wallace was there. So we start playing the song, and the plan was at the end of the song, we were all going to go, Opa, and then smash the glasses, right? And make the plates crash.
Yeah.
But the sound man didn't know we were going to do that. So now, I don't know if you remember, this is what it reminds me of. Do you ever see the Little Rascals episode when they're playing Man on the Flying Trapeze, and it's all off, and every time they hit a cymbal, the guy in the sound booth, his like tube of breaking and popping, and he's like, and at one point his hat blows off the top of his head, and he just gives up and starts breaking all the tubes.
Yeah.
Well, at the end, when we did Opa, the look on his face was the same look. He looked out the window of the sound booth because he thought something like exploded or something like that. So, and we apologize for scaring him half to death, but it was fun. It was fun.
Those are fun. GBB was crazy. It was fun. It was good. It was bad. It was everything. But you remember the fun times. You remember the goofy things. Now, you're still doing music. You're in what band or bands are you in now, if any? Or what music are you making?
Right now, the band I have going where we can actually get together and play is called Dragonfly, the music of Jimi Hendrix.
Oh, wow.
And I play and sing the Jimi Hendrix parts. And we have 3 guys, Nick Kopolis on drums and Ron Cameron on bass. And right before that, we were doing a whole bunch of other stuff. Now everything that we had in our bands always involved the moon. So we were
the Ramones.
Yes.
Yes, you did the Ramon tribute band, the Ramones.
Called the Ramones, right. So we started, Moon was the original band. And then we were the Moonshiners, and we had the Ramoons, and we had Moon Music Circus, which was just covers from like 60s and 70s covers. But then we also had CCR tribute band, which was really good with Lou Caruso on vocals.
Well, what did you call that one?
That we were called Credence County Rockers.
All right, yeah, what happened in Moan there? You could have
Well,
figured it out. Yeah,
Credence County is one of their like stomping grounds, and the
yeah,
abbreviations was CCR. So
yeah.
we called ourselves Credence County Rockers, and we did that for quite a while. And then Lou moved, and but we started this Jimi Hendrix band, which is good. I feel like I should have been doing it for a long time already.
Are you playing anywhere in the near future, like on Long Island or somewhere people can see us?
Well, if you don't mind, if I give a plug out for where I work, it's called Creative Corner in West Hempstead, 482 Hempstead Avenue in West Hempstead, right by the West Hempstead Public Library.
Oh.
And we have open mic nights on Mondays, and then we have like jazz nights on Wednesdays. And we do everything.
I don't understand. What is the place that you work at? Is it a coffee store? What is it?
Well, no, it's called Creative Corner, and it's an art and music school.
Oh, wow. Okay,
Yeah,
I did.
so
Yeah, that's great.
anything creative. So I teach art there, and I teach music there, and I started there in 2015 when they opened. And I was going to the open mics every Monday until the lockdown happened.
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah.
We had to close the store for a while, and things are a little bit different now, all over the place. Not as many people come, but that's where I enjoy, releasing my music when I get a chance, when there's nobody else to play with.
I know you're also still doing or teaching Tai Chi, because I know you're like a Tai Chi master or some.
Well, I wouldn't say I'm a
Or
master,
anything.
but yes, I teach Tai Chi for the town of Hempstead at Echo Park in West Hempstead on Thursdays, and I teach for the Board of Ed in North Belmore on Friday mornings. And then I also have one night for the West Hempstead Public Library, which we had to do on Zoom because of the shutdown. They didn't allow people into the library. We're supposed to go back together in person in January. I'm hoping that's going to happen. And I've been doing it in my living room that night, Wednesday, since 2020.
You are busy. Do you have a website where people can go and see your schedule, whether they're interested in the art or in being part of the open mic stuff, or whether they, the Creative Commons stuff, or
Yeah,
everything?
you can. Well, the website for Creative Corner is Creative Corner 482.
Cool.
Yes, Creative Corner 482 at Gmail, and you can find me on Facebook, Eddie Hug 1G.
1G. Anyhow, yeah, for 20 years, I had you down as 2Gs. I didn't know. I had never seen your actual name, but it's
Actually, I
1G.
changed my name to Eddie No Hug thanks to COVID-19.
You're Eddie Handshake now.
Yeah, right. Elbow.
Well, before I wish you well and give you a handshake and thank you, let's hear a little bit. If you said you wanted to play a little more of a song to take us out, please.
So now Don's songs were very short, but I'm gonna. It's gonna be probably less than 2 minutes. But this one is called Sunday, and a little tribute to Don. We also used to be on the radio show on Sundays. So here's one of his songs that I liked a lot when we did it, and I'll try to get it going. I don't know if you could see the baritone ukulele.
Yeah.
Let's see how this sounds. I'm blue every Monday, thinking over Sunday, that one day that I'm with you. I sigh all day Tuesday, I cry all day Wednesday. Oh my, how I long for you. And then comes Thursday, gee, it's long, it never goes by. Friday makes me feel like I'm gonna die. But after payday, it's my fun day. I shine all day Sunday, that one day that I'm with you. Ba ba ba, diddly da ba boo, see beat da ba, wop up, see ba ba, zoopity boo boo, ba beep da ba, gee beep ba boo boo. Wow, zip, skip, 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 deep, deep, wow, back a dip, Then comes Thursday, gee, it's long, it never goes by. Friday makes me feel like I'm gonna die. But after payday, it's my fun day. I shine all day Sunday, that one day that I'm with, that one day that I'm with, that one day that I'm with you.
I'm very glad we've had this day with you, Eddie Hug. Oh my goodness, there with your baritone ukulele, and very thrilled that 20 years later,
Yeah, can't believe it.
alive and well and doing what you do, just as I'm alive and reasonably well and doing what I do.
Yeah, and you haven't changed one bit. I remember what you haven't aged.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know. I've got a 5 head now instead of a 4 head.
Oh,
Thanks for having me on your show.
an absolute pleasure. And
Thanks for inviting me.
of course, it was absolutely a delight. And I'm wishing you all the best musically and
Thanks.
in every other way. Thank you.
Thanks for the memories. All right, Dave.
Bye bye now.